everyone, and welcome back to the Tales Blu-ray Picks Podcast. I'm Miyuna, and today we have a really special, cozy, nostalgia-filled episode planned for you.
And I'm Naiyuki, and oh my gosh, yes, we are going full retro today. Like full orange splat, couch after school, weekend cartoon energy.
Today's topic is Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy, celebrating 35 years of Nicktoons. We're looking back at Nickelodeon's first 3 original Nicktoons, which all debuted on August 11th, 1991. And honestly, that one day changed television animation forever.
Which is wild to think about, right? 3 shows, 1 debut day, and each one had such a different personality. You had Doug being sweet and relatable, Rugrats turning baby life into giant adventures, and Ren and Stimpy just gleefully breaking everybody's brain in the best and weirdest way.
Exactly. And that variety is a huge part of why those early Nicktoons felt so groundbreaking. They didn't look the same, sound the same, or tell stories the same way. They really helped prove that television animation could be creator-driven, distinct, and a little messy in a good way.
Yeah, It wasn't just, here is one house style and everybody has to fit inside it. Nope, these shows had their own voices. Doug came from Jim Jinkins, Rugrats from Arlene Klasky and Gabor Shupa with Paul Germain, and Ren and Stimpy from John Quickfalusi. You could feel those creative fingerprints all over them.
And Nickelodeon really needed that identity. Back then, the network was still building itself into a destination for kids' entertainment. These original cartoons gave Nickelodeon something that felt uniquely its own, especially at a time when animation on television was becoming more competitive.
Right? And when people talk about the golden age of Nickelodeon, this is where the story starts. I mean, if those first 3 had flopped, actually, wow, imagine that timeline for a second. We might not have gotten so many later classics in the same way.
That's a great point. Their success gave Nickelodeon the confidence to keep investing in original animation, and that eventually opened the door for Rocko's Modern Life, Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, The Angry Beavers, The Wild Thornberrys, Rocket Power as told by Ginger, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, Avatar The Last Airbender, and so many more.
That lineup is ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. It's basically a hallway of legends. And the amazing thing is, the first 3 Nicktoons already showed the blueprint. Heartfelt slice of life, imaginative kid perspective, and total comedy chaos.
Let's start with Doug. Doug Funny is such a fascinating character because he's ordinary on purpose. His stories are about school, crushes, insecurities, journaling, friendships, and those little embarrassing moments that feel enormous when you're young.
Yes, Doug is like the patron saint of overthinking. You watch him and you go, wow, this kid really can turn one small social problem into a full emotional opera inside his head. And I mean that lovingly.
Lovingly, absolutely. But that's why he worked. He felt relatable. His imagination added charm, but the core was very human. Doug Funny, Skeeter Valentine, Patty Mayonnaise, Pork Chop, Roger Klotz, that world felt specific, but also familiar.
And Skeeter was such an iconic best friend. Like, come on. Skeeter Valentine is one of those characters where the minute you hear the name, you smile. And Pork Chop, too. Pork Chop had real presence. Not just pet energy, but emotional support legend energy.
What I love about Doug is that it makes everyday life feel meaningful. It says your awkward school day matters. Your diary thoughts matter. Your tiny victories matter. That's a powerful message for a children's cartoon.
Yeah, and the theme song is instantly comforting. The whole show has this gentle rhythm. It's not trying to scream at you. It kind of invites you in. It says, hey, sit down, breathe, and remember what being a kid felt like.
Now, Rugrats took a completely different approach. Instead of focusing on an older kid's inner life, it transformed the perspective of babies into epic adventures. Tommy Pickles, Chucky Finster, Angelica Pickles, Phil and Lil DeVille, they turned living rooms, backyards, and playpens into entire worlds.
Rugrats is genius, pure genius, because as a kid, you watch it and think, yes, that screwdriver really is treasure. That hallway really is dangerous. And that grown-up conversation is definitely suspicious. Everything feels huge when you're little, and Rugrats totally got that.
It did. And it balanced imagination with genuine warmth. Tommy is brave, Chucky is anxious but lovable, Angelica is chaotic in a way only Angelica can be, and Phil and Lil bring that twin mischief energy. The show understood personality so well.
Angelica especially is one of the all-time great cartoon troublemakers. She walks into a room and the temperature changes. You just know something dramatic is about to happen. And poor Chucky is already emotionally preparing for disaster before it even arrives.
Do you know what's interesting? Rugrats also had this incredible longevity. It started as one of the original Nicktoons and became one of the network's defining franchises. That says a lot about how deeply the characters connected with audiences.
Totally. It's funny, sweet, a little chaotic, and surprisingly emotional. There are episodes and moments that really stay with you because they capture fear, curiosity, and friendship in such a child-centered way.
And then there's the Ren and Stimpy show, which in many ways was the wild card. Where Doug was grounded and Rugrats was imaginative, Ren and Stimpy pushed style, exaggeration, gross-out comedy, and surreal humor in ways that felt almost rebellious.
Oh, 100%. Ren and Stimpy came in like, hello, we are here to be loud, strange, unpredictable, beautifully ugly at times, and completely unforgettable. It was one of those shows where you never quite knew what visual joke or weird expression was coming next.
Its animation style and comedic rhythm were so distinctive. Even people who don't love every part of it usually recognize that it expanded what TV cartoons could look and feel like. It was bold, extreme, and impossible to ignore.
Yeah, and Ren and Stimpy absolutely pushed boundaries for animated comedy on television. Sometimes it felt like the cartoon equivalent of someone throwing open a door and yelling, "There are no rules, let's go!"
That contrast between the three shows is what made the original Nicktoons launch so smart. Nickelodeon wasn't saying there's only one kind of cartoon kid audiences will love. It was saying there's room for sincerity, imagination, and total absurdity.
Exactly. And that's why the debut still feels historic. August 11th, 1991 wasn't just a premiere date. It was like a statement. Nickelodeon was planting a flag and saying original animation matters here.
Let's talk favorite characters for a minute. For me, Doug Funny is always easy to appreciate because of how introspective he is. Tommy Pickles is brave in such a pure way. Chucky is deeply lovable, and Stimpy has this big-hearted innocence that makes the chaos funnier.
My heart goes out to Skeeter, Chucky, and honestly, Angelica, because she is chaos with pigtails. Also, Ren and Stimpy as a duo are just legendary opposites. Ren is all tension, Stimpy is all goofy softness, and that contrast is comedy gold.
Do you have favorite memories from watching these shows?
Oh, absolutely. I remember that after-school feeling where the room was kind of glowing from the TV, snacks were nearby, and hearing one of those theme songs meant your day instantly got better. Doug felt calming, Rugrats felt adventurous, and Ren and Stimpy felt like you were getting away with watching something a little dangerous, you know?
I do. For me, it's the weekend atmosphere. The shows felt tied to a specific rhythm of childhood, where time seemed slower and cartoons felt like events. That's part of why they remain beloved. They're not just shows people watched. They're memories people lived with.
Wow. Yes, that is exactly it. It's not only about favorite episodes or jokes, it's about the feeling around them, the texture of that era.
Now we have to visit the famous Nickelodeon versus Disney Doug debate.
Oh, yes, we do. Let's do it. This debate never gets old.
So after the original Nickelodeon run, Doug moved to Disney. Brand spanking new Doug premiered on ABC on September 7th, 1996, and later became known as Disney's Doug. That transition makes Doug one of the most unusual stories in animation history, because the same core series had a Nickelodeon era and a Disney era.
And fans definitely notice the difference. Nickelodeon Doug feels simpler, softer, and a little more intimate. Disney Doug feels brighter, a bit more polished, and more expanded in its world and supporting material.
There were also changes in storytelling tone, animation presentation, and some character details, which is why fans often feel strongly about which version they prefer. I think a lot of people are attached to Nickelodeon Doug because it captures that humble, diary-like charm so beautifully.
Yeah, same. If I had to choose, I'll lean Nickelodeon Doug. It just has that cozy magic. But I can still appreciate that the Disney version continued the character's life and introduced its own energy. So I'm not here to be mean about it. I'm just emotionally loyal.
That's a fair way to put it. I also think both versions are part of Doug's legacy now. Even if someone prefers one over the other, the full story is what makes Doug so unique.
Right. And honestly, not many cartoon characters can say they lived through a full network identity shift like that. Doug really said, I contain multitudes.
Let's ask each other a big question. Of the original 3 Nicktoons, which one do you think had the greatest impact on television animation?
Oh, that is tough. My instinct says Ren and Stimpy for pure shockwave impact on comedy style and visual exaggeration. It made people pay attention in a totally different way. Even when later shows didn't copy it exactly, you could feel that it expanded the conversation.
That makes sense. I might say Rugrats, because it proved a creator-driven series centered on very young children could become a major, long-running franchise without talking down to the audience. It had imagination, emotional clarity, and broad appeal.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is the hard part. Doug is maybe the least flashy, but it matters so much too because it validated slice-of-life storytelling and animation. So honestly, each one changed the landscape from a different angle.
Which character do you most relate to?
Chucky. I wish I could say Tommy because bravery is glamorous, but no. Deep down, if the floor creaks weirdly, I am spiritually Chucky Finster, a cautious little legend.
That is wonderfully honest. I probably relate most to Doug. Reflective, a little in their own head, always trying to process the world through thoughts and feelings first.
That tracks so perfectly. And okay, next question. Which Nicktoon universe would you most like to visit?
I'd choose Doug's world. It feels gentle and lived in. I'd like to walk through Bluffington, say hello to Porkchop, and just experience that atmosphere.
I'm torn between Rugrats and Doug, but I think I pick Rugrats. Not because it would be safe. It would absolutely not be safe. But because everything ordinary turning into a quest sounds amazing.
Speaking of quests, it's time for the quest cast of the day.
Wait, for anybody who might be new, what is a quest cast again?
It's our little play on words. Questcast, as in question podcast.
I still love that every single time I hear it. It's so charming.
Today's Questcast of the day is, what is your favorite Nicktoon of all time, and what makes it special to you?
Oh, that is such a good one. Do you want to go first?
Sure. My favorite Nicktoon of all time is Hey Arnold. What makes it special to me is its emotional intelligence, its city atmosphere, and the way it treated childhood as something complicated, funny, and deeply meaningful. It always felt comforting, but never shallow.
That is such a solid pick. Mine is SpongeBob SquarePants. I know. Very hard-hitting answer. But seriously, it's special to me because it's endlessly funny, incredibly quotable, and tied to so many happy memories of laughing with other people.
Both of those choices say a lot about why Nicktoons matter. They grow with you. You might start by loving the jokes or characters, but years later, you realize the shows also held on to pieces of your childhood.
Exactly. And for everybody listening and watching, we really want to hear your answer too. What is your favorite Nicktoon of all time, and what makes it special to you? Share your favorite Nicktoon memories, characters, episodes, theme songs, and all of that good stuff.
Before we wrap up, I think the biggest reason the original Nicktoons still matter is that they helped normalize the idea that TV animation could be artist-led and tonally diverse. Without Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy succeeding, the history of television cartoons might have looked very different.
Yeah, and that legacy is huge. Those three didn't just entertain kids in the early 90s. They changed what networks believed original cartoons could do. They opened doors.
And decades later, people still remember the characters, the catchphrases, the music, the jokes, the weird moments, and the warm moments. That says everything.
It really does. This was such a fun one. Cozy, nostalgic, and it's kind of emotional too in the best way.
Thank you all so much for joining us as we celebrated 35 years of Nicktoons with Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video and stick around for more fun podcast discussions about retro cartoons, animation history, physical media, television nostalgia, and pop culture.
We appreciate your support so much. Truly, it means a lot to us that you spend your time with us for these conversations.
And we love you guys. Seriously, thank you for being here and for sharing this nostalgia with us.
See you next time on the Tales Blu-ray Picks Podcast.
Bye, everyone.